Okay, good morning, Mango class. Well, it's day one of home learning. I'm feeling quite excited. I hope that you're feeling excited too. So let me explain how this video is going to work. I'm going to start off by letting you know what you need to get out of your home learning pack. We're going to just start nice and simple today and just do a little bit of maths and a little bit of English. Nothing too difficult for day one. I'll let you know what you need to get out. I will start off by explaining what you need to do. And then if you want to pause this video and have a go, and then when you click play again, we'll go through it together like we normally do at school. So we're going to start off with a bit of maths today, and then we're going to move to a little bit of English. Okay, right, well, let's jump straight into our maths for this morning. Okay, great. Let's get started with our first power up then. So you can see that just like normal, we have got three questions, question 1, question 2, and question 3. Now, question 1 is normally just a quick question to practice something that we've already covered in our maths lessons this year. Question 2 is a calculation question, so it's going to be either an addition, a subtraction, a multiplication, or a division. And question 3 is a chance to be creative with your maths. It's a chance to really think about exploring how we can show things mathematically and just having a bit of fun and challenging yourself with the maths you already know. So give yourself about 5 to 15 minutes, but take as long as you need to have a go at this power up now. So pause the video. When you're ready to go through it, click play. So let's get started on question 1. So you can see that question 1 says this: use this bar model to help you write 2 number sentences. And you can see here that we've got a bar model with our whole our total as 24, and we've got equal groups of 2 making up our bar model. Now we've got a division sentence to write and a multiplication sentence to write. Let's start off with this division sentence here. Now you'll remember that when we're doing a division sentence, we need to start with the total. Okay, so 24 is what we need to start with. 24. And as we said, we've made up 24 with equal groups of 2. So 24 made up of equal groups of 2 will give us, or is the same as, well, let's count how many groups we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 groups. So 24 made into equal groups of 2 gives us 12. Right, well, we can use that information that we've just learned to write our multiplication sentence now. So there's 2 different ways you could write this multiplication sentence. You could either write this as 12 times 2 or 2 times 12, but the easiest way to think about it is 12 equal groups of 2. So 12 equal groups of 2 makes 24 in total. So 2 different number sentences, both talking about or describing that same bar model there. Okay, fantastic. Right, let's look then at question 2. So we've got 54 take away 18. Now, there's 2 methods that we've practiced in year 2 for doing subtraction. We've got column subtraction, and we've also got what we call the sticks and dots method. And that's the method that I know a lot of you like and a lot of you use. So that's what I'm going to show you today. So let's start. We've got 54 to start. So that's got 5 tens. There they are, 5 tens. And we need to draw our 4 ones. So there's our 4 ones. Now I'm taking away 18, and I know that I've got to start by taking away those 8 ones. But straight away you should be thinking to yourself, hang on a second, well, I can't take away 8 ones from 4 ones, so what I need to do is take one of those 10s and exchange it for 10 ones. So there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 ones. Now I'm ready to take away those 8 ones. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great, let's see how many ones I've got left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fantastic. So 6 ones left. Now I've got to remember that I've still got to take away this 10 in 18. So let's take away one more 10. And there we go, 1, 2, 3 10s left. So altogether, I have got the number 36. So if we read that whole number sentence, 54 take away 18 gives us 36. Fantastic. Okay, time to move to question 3 now. Okay, now we said that question 3 is our chance to be a bit creative. And you'll notice that it says in your maths book. Now, obviously, we don't have our maths books with us, but any piece of paper that you can get, anything that you can draw on will be good enough for this. So in your maths book or wherever, draw a part whole model for the number 32. How many different ways can you think of? And the challenge today says use 3 parts instead of 2. And in fact, I'm going to extend that challenge and say you can use as many parts as you want to. So let's start off with a nice simple one. We could start here with our whole is 32. And our 2 parts that we're going to make are 30 and 2. Nice and straightforward. We might also work out that if we have 32 as our whole, our 2 parts are, we could have 29, and that would leave us with 3 left. So those 2 parts make 32. You can see what I've done there is I've just taken 1 away from 30 and added it to the other part to make 29 and 3. So you could do some like that. You could also challenge yourself and think about, well, this is an even number, 32, so we could split it in half and have 2 equal parts. So we could also make 32 and 16 and 16. That's quite a tricky one. I'd be very impressed if anyone's able to do that one in their head. Now the challenge today was to use 3 parts instead of 2, and I said to you that you could also try and use more than 3 parts, and actually sometimes using more parts is easier. So I'm actually going to start off today by choosing to use 4 parts, and I'm going to make my 30 first with 3 10s, and I've got 2 left. 3 10s and 2 1s, 32. You might also have gotten something like this, where you make your 30 from a 15 and a 15, so that's double 15, and then added your 2 1s on the end. So there's loads of possibilities here, and those are just a few ways that I thought of that you could draw a part whole model to show the number 32. Okay, fantastic. Right, well, that's it for our power up. Let's move into our next bit, which sometimes and hopefully in the future is going to be using the School Jam app. But for today, because I'm still just trying to get my head around how to make School Jam work, we are going to move into something a bit different. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed your power up this morning. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago, this is normally going to be the time where I'm hoping we're going to have a go at using the School Jam app. Now, I'm just learning how to use the School Jam app, so hopefully I'll be able to include it on the videos soon. If you don't yet have School Jam, I've included a link down below in the description to a fantastic video by our other Year 2 teacher at Highfields campus about downloading and using the School Jam app. But I'm aware some of you won't be able to access School Jam anyway, and this is the time in these videos where I'm going to give just a bit of extra maths that you could do anyway, in addition to the School Jam or instead of, so I'll leave that up to you. Okay, so for today, I was thinking that we could have a go at practicing our 2 times table, practicing counting in twos. Now this is something that some of us are really confident at, and some of us might be thinking, oh yeah, that'd be a really good thing to practice. So you can start off nice and simple, starting with 0, counting up in twos, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. But you can start to make this more complicated. You could go backwards, you could pick a number, say maybe start on 16 or 20 and start counting backwards, or you could also count forwards but just not start on 0. So you could start on 8, you could start on 10 and keep going and see how far you can get. The other thing that you could do, which is quite fun, is to start on an odd number. So start on 3, start on 5, or start on 15. And see how you do then. See whether you can count up in twos. I think it's a bit more difficult, but it's good fun to challenge yourself. So I'd suggest have a little go at that. Have a go with your parents, or practice by yourself, counting up in twos. And you may want to write down your 2 times table as well. That might help you a little bit as well. Remember, we've also got access to Times Table Rockstars. Just drop me a message if you're not able to get on or you've forgotten your login, and I can help you with that too. But for now, let's move across and start our English work for today. Okay, so this is our English starter. This is normally what we do when we come in after break. And again, you can see that it's got 3 parts to it. We've got the grammar monster question, we've got some handwriting and spelling practice, and then a short piece of writing to do for number 3. So this is the time for you to pause, have a little go at this, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Probably I would give yourself anywhere again between 5 and 15 minutes, but really as long as it takes to get this done. So see you in a minute. Okay, right, let's go through this together then. So question 1 today, our grammar question. Tick 1 box to show where a comma should go in the sentence below. Now, what hopefully you will have realised from reading this sentence is that this is a list, okay? Now, just want you to look carefully at this question. It says tick 1, okay? So there's only 1 box here that needs ticking, and when you tick it, that's to show that that's where you think the comma should go. So let's start off by reading this sentence out loud. We've got Aisha found some red, blue, and purple beads in the box. Now the list here is the colour of the beads, isn't it? She found some red, blue, and purple beads. Okay, now between the last things in the list, we know that we put the word and here. Okay, so blue and purple beads. Purple is the last thing in the list. But before blue, we've got red. So Aisha found some red, blue, and purple beads. So that comma needs to go between red and blue. So remember, the question asked us to tick 1 box. So we think the comma needs to go just where that arrow is showing, in there between red and blue. So that's the box we need to put the tick in. Now let's have a look at this handwriting for today. So obviously this is something that you can have a go at independently, but this is not just handwriting. This is also thinking about some rules for how we spell words. And the rule today that I want you to think about is where we have this double letter here. So this word started out as, or we could say the root word was the word thin. So there we go, there's the word thin. Now you'll notice that the word thin, well, it doesn't have a double N, does it? It just has 1 N. Now, if we want to turn thin into thinnest, so that's the thing that is the most thin, something that is the thinnest, because before our N, we've got a short vowel sound, so an A, I, O, E, or sound. Because in this case we've got an I, in order to add our est on the end, we need to add another N and make this into thinnest. The same would also be true if we did another word that had a short vowel sound in it. So we could perhaps have fittest, if somebody was the fittest. So we could have the word fit, that would be our root word, fit. And if we wanted to make that into fittest, because again we've got that short I sound before the last letter, we would go from fit, which is like that, add another T on the end and make that into fittest. Okay, so extra challenge then. Obviously normally we just copy out our handwriting word, and that's absolutely fine. I'd encourage you to do that again today, but see whether there's any other words you could think of that followed that rule. Words with a short vowel sound before the last letter that would need their last letter doubling. Now that's a bit of new learning for you there, so don't worry if that feels a little bit complicated. You can either ask me a question or you can just choose to practice your handwriting today, just writing out that word thinnest. Right, let's move to part 3 then, a sentence using adverbs. So write some sentences using adverbs. Now, let's think about that word adverbs then. So adverbs describe verbs, don't they? They describe how we're doing something or how something is happening. And often they end in ly, but not always. So I'm going to just write down some adverbs that you could perhaps use. You could perhaps use the adverb quickly. That's one we use a lot at school. You could write the opposite, slowly. Quietly and loudly are some quite good adverbs to use. So there's an idea of some adverbs you could have used, but of course there's lots. And I'm going to write my sentence just down here. Obviously, if you have a bigger piece of paper, you could write down some more sentences. But the sentence that I'm going to write is one that actually has come from one of the books that we've read previously in Mango class. So I'm going to write that Robin Hood crept slowly towards the sheriff's castle. Robin crept slowly towards the sheriff's castle. So my verb here is crept, my adverb here is slowly. That's how Robin was creeping. And you'll notice as well that I've also included a possessive apostrophe here because the castle belongs to the sheriff. It's the sheriff's castle. Okay, so that's it for English today. Okay, well, that's it for day 1. Hopefully you enjoyed and were able to get on with that English and maths this morning. Now, obviously this is day 1, and this is the first time that I've done this, and the first time that you've had a go doing this just with a video as well. So please let me know how it was today. Did it work? Did you find it easy? Were there bits you found tricky? Was there anything else that could have helped you? Or have you got any ideas for things I could include on these videos that would be useful for you as well? This is something we've got to work out together. So yeah, let me know, either send me a message or hopefully you can comment on this video, but I'm not sure whether you'll be able to. But great, yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, And yeah, I will see you tomorrow morning. Goodbye.